This is McFly Angler.
And it starts now.
For a hook, we will need a long shank saltwater hook like these from Redfish, and today I'm tying a size 2. Place the hook securely in your vise. For thread, you will want a strong thread, and today I'm using Vivis 140 power thread in hot orange. Start the thread up near the hook eye, and then cut off the waist. Bring the thread down to the bend of the hook slightly, and then back up a wrap or two. For the tail, we will use extra select craft fur in this tan color. Cut a fairly large clump of fur off the swatch. To prepare this for tie-in, you will want to pinch halfway up the clump and then pull out the shorter fibers and underfur. To remove the static, slightly wet your fingers and wipe down the butt ends. So I find these fibers to be too long at the end for my liking, so I hold the clump down by the butt ends and then pinch the tips, and then pull out the extra long fibers. Then you can replace them back into the clump and align with the shorter fibers. Cut off the butt ends flush to make the next steps easier. Okay, let's measure out this clump to about 2 times the hook shank length and then tie it in on top of the hook shank with 4 to 5 tight wraps. Now we need to stripe the tail. I used 2 colored Sharpies for this, one brown and one orange. Let's make even strips with the brown Sharpie up the tail until you reach the tip. Then right behind the brown, do the same thing with the orange Sharpie to create a bit of a gradient like so. Now we need some crystal flash, and I like gold for this. Cut off 2 strands, then tie them in underneath the tail so the flash extends out just shy of the craft fur tail. Then pull the forward facing strands rearward and tie that in as well facing rearward. Then cut this side off the same length as the other side. Now we need some rubber legs, and I really like these hot orange tipped silly legs. Pull 2 legs off and then fold them in half, ensuring that the start of the orange tips line up for all the legs. Tie the legs in so a little bit of pearl is sticking out, and the orange tips are about 1/4 of the length of the tail. After making a few tight wraps, cut off the waist piece of legs. Now start wrapping the thread up to halfway up the hook shank, and then trim off the excess craft fur at an angle like so. Now clean up the shank, covering all with the thread, and then build a bit of a thread bump right behind the hook eye. Now we need some brass dumbbell eyes, and today I'm using 4mm in gold color. Tie the eyes in directly on top of the hook shank with X-wraps and under wraps to really lock it in tight. End with your thread right in front of the tail. Now we need a brush. So this is basically a tarantula brush from EP, but I make my own brushes. I will link to a video where I made this specific brush in the description section if you would like to see how to make your own. Otherwise, you can buy the very expensive EP style brushes. Tie the brush in and bring your thread up to just in front of the dumbbell eyes. Now make wraps with the brush up the hook shank with slightly open wraps, ensuring to pull all the fibers rearward with every wrap. Make an extra wrap right behind the dumbbell eyes and then pull the brush forward underneath the eyes and then capture it with your thread. You will trap some fibers with the thread, so just brush it out with your fingers until you aren't capturing too much. Make 2 tight wraps over the brush wire with your thread and then pull everything back and make a few wraps in front of the brush as well. Get some fine tipped wire cutters and cut off the wire close. The tip of the wire is sharp, so make sure that you push this down with your nail or it will fray your thread. Go ahead and whip finish your fly now. For added security, and to ensure that the eyes don't move, let's brush on some of this ultra thin resin from Solarez. Cure it with your UV light and it will keep this fly very durable. Now it's time to pick out the brush and release any trapped fibers. Once it's fully brushed out, then stroke back the fibers with your fingers. Finally, let's cut off the legs to length. You could go longer, but I like to have them quite short with just a little bit of the orange showing. And there we have it, the finished redfish crack. To be fully honest, this is more of a variation of the redfish crack. I don't believe the original had silly legs, and the brush didn't have the little rubber legs in it as well. But I like this variation better for my uses. This fly alone has caught me quite a few nice redfish and some speckled trout as well. It's a go-to pattern for me when fishing down in the Gulf. To me, this looks like it represents a brown shrimp. Of course, you could tie it in other colors and sizes to mimic other shrimp species. Let me know how you tie your redfish cracks and if you've had the same level of success as I have from this pattern. Check back next week for another variation of this fly that I call the crack crab. As you all know, I've gotten you all discounts from www.risenfly.com. They manufacture all their own hooks, rods, reels, fly tying tools, and other gear for fly fishing. Not only are the prices at their shop very good already, but like I said, they're offering you 15% off of your first order with them. So go to www.risenfly.com and type in McFly at checkout for a discount on your entire cart. I want to also thank all of my patrons who support me. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support this channel and also get some great perks like early access to my videos, participate in live streams, and even discounts on purchasing flies I tie and sell. Yes, that's right, I do sell flies hand-tied by me. If you want to order, you can do so through Patreon for that discount, or just place an order by finding me on Instagram or Facebook. Or if you don't use social media, then you can go to my YouTube homepage, click the About section, and then click View Email Address, and email me with your order. I want to also thank all of you who share all my videos and your continued support by hitting the like button and being my subscriber. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.